Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. Great to see you. Well done for picking mainframe skills and learning. I have been introducing a lot of first-time speakers to the track this particular virtual conference. This gentleman is well known in this track, and he's well known in the community. For those of you who know about the kind of the champions program, I think Darren is one of the few lifetime champions for System Z.
One of
So
two.
hopefully he shouldn't need too much introduction, but I'm keen to let him get underway and tell you all about career resilience. I believe we are going to be doing questions at the end, but you're more than happy to put comments and all the rest of it in the chat, and then I think we'll kind of uh, deal with it all in one point. So let me get out of your way, Darren, and thank you very much.
Cheers, Herb. Thank you. Okay, hi everybody, welcome. And I know some of the names. Hi, Eileen and Giles. Joshua, pleased to meet you. 7:30 a.m. here in the US. I got up nice and early, so looking forward to chatting with you today. We'll zoom through this. It's a nice, easy walk through this topic, and it'll take us 15, 20, 25 minutes, and then we can have some questions at the end and a bit of a chat, make it nice and interactive. The title today is Building Mainframe Career Resilience, Strategies for Thriving in a Changing Workplace. And change, isn't that always the constant? My name's Darren Search, CEO of Interskill Learning. As Herb said, honoured to be a lifetime IBM champion, one of only two for IBM Z that IBM's ever named. So someone made a mistake somewhere, but I'll take it. Absolutely honoured to be part of the Champions program, Open Mainframe Project Ambassador, and on the IBM Mainframe Skills Council and all sorts of other things. So, and this is something we'll talk about today, is getting involved in the mainframe community. Thanks to GS UK, fantastic conference. Definitely something that everyone looks forward to each year, and typically well done this year. So we'll jump in. Building mainframe career resilience. So we'll cover just nice and easy, 1, 2, 3, 4, what it is, why it's important, 4 strategies. Number 4 keeps coming up. 4 strategies for building career resilience, and a little sort of footnote about how employers should be a part of this. Shouldn't just be up to all of the mainframers. So what is career resilience? This slide breaks most of the rules about how much text you should put on a slide, but I wanted to put it there as a reference. I know people watch these things on record, and you can also download the PDF from here. So just as a reference, career resiliency is your ability to adjust and adapt to career changes as they occur. Now, resiliency in the dictionary, just as I was waiting for this call, I thought I'll look it up just to see if it ties in. And resiliency came up mainly as toughness, which is fair enough. Your ability to adjust and adapt when things go wrong makes you nice and tough in your career. But resiliency is also about elasticity and the ability to spring back into the shape that you originally were. And that's another part about it as well. It gives you that ability to take whatever happens and get back to a place where you're doing well and is beneficial to you. There's a lot of components to it. Why is it important? As I alluded to in the initial few seconds, change is change. Change is always. I heard a joke years ago when I first came into the industry with what's now Broadcom, originally Computer Associates, CA, and they would joke that CA stood for change always, and I think that's the industry we are working in the technical industry. The world is changing fast enough as it is, but we're at the cutting edge of that in the technical industry, and change always. So as well as doing well at your job, there's a number of important things that you can really do to build up your resiliency for your career. Anyway, enough of the preamble. Let's jump into these 4 strategies. So embracing lifelong learning. Number 1, lifelong learning. Back in the day when you could learn to program COBOL and just program COBOL for 20 or 30 years and not have to learn much more, those days are gone. Things are changing always. So you have to be continually learning daily, weekly, monthly, every opportunity, all sorts of different modalities. And especially this year and moving forward, AI is going to play a huge part in your life, in your career. Excuse me. So please get yourself knowledgeable about AI, do some courses, learn how to incorporate it in your daily work, learn how to build it, learn how to work in and around it, learn how it ties in with your career and your systems and your organization, et cetera, et cetera. Connect with other people that are leaders in AI. So that has, I suppose it hasn't sprung on us. IBM's been doing Watson for a decade, but or longer. But AI is becoming just part of the world now, and we need to know all about it to not miss an opportunity. I will continue. So we've got a few little components on how you can embrace lifelong learning. Cultivating a growth mindset. So just always be looking to grow and learn from things and absorb information when you can, and take advantage of anything you can learn from, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a chance to meet someone, whether it's a mini course. I find, thank you LinkedIn, I find that just scrolling through my LinkedIn feed on with my cup of coffee every morning on my iPhone is just fantastic for this. Reading through and saying, oh, look, there's a new release of this software. What's that all about? Click, read a little bit about it, read what some industry experts are saying about it, what their take on it is, et cetera, et cetera. This is all learning. This is lifelong learning. This is educating yourself, keeping up with current things, and learning on a small level, and you can choose to dig deeper. And believe that you can do it. This is a journey. Be intellectually curious. This is a wonderful thing to have as a personality trait, and will serve you well in your career. Be hungry to learn. Be interested. This is your chosen career. And if you're not interested, if you're not interested in your chosen career, then perhaps you might want to take a tangent and start leaning into something that gets you really interested. And I don't mean that in a bad way. If you're in IT, you probably love IT, but if you're not 100% interested, there's a bug. Maybe start to lean into other aspects, other job roles in the mainframe space, other systems that tie into the mainframe, et cetera, other roles. Make learning a habit. I talked about that. Try and dedicate time each week. Only needs to be a little bit of time. Scroll through your LinkedIn feed, do an e-learning course, meet with a mentor, et cetera. Set learning goals. This is a good one. I think most people set New Year's resolutions and say, I'm going to really do a lot of training this year, and then you get to late December, and you think to yourself, yeah, I really meant to do more training this year. So try and set goals. Try and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do at least one instructor-led class this year, or I am going to go to the GSE conference at Toaster, typically each year, or I am going to do this many e-learning courses, earn this many IBM badges, whatever you want to set your learning goals as. Try and set them and try and keep them so that as you go through the year, you'll keep up with that. And this is a really cool one. Mistakes are part of the process. I'll say it again. Mistakes are part of the process. So don't fret the failures. Some of the best ways to learn. If something goes wrong, learn from it. Figure out what happened. You won't do it again because you'll remember it, the mistake, and you've learned. So try and make them small mistakes if you can, but they're definitely part of the process, and don't fret them. They build your AQ, your adversity quotient. I'll talk a little bit about that. There's various types of intelligence. You can read countless articles about this. The key ones are IQ, which everyone's heard of. This is your intelligence quotient. AQ is your adversity quotient. So your ability to function well and do good work when things get tough, or when something happens, to find a way out of it, find a solution, and so forth. This is priceless for your career. So AQ, build AQ, develop your AQ, read about your AQ so you understand it as it's happening, but build your AQ. It gives you a better career. It makes you much more horrible. Organizations need people with AQ that can respond when change happens, when things don't go quite right, and excel in the face of adversity and do well. So build that AQ. Still under lifelong learning, stay curious, apply what you learn. The human mind is not not a perfect thing. When you learn stuff, by the next day, you'll have forgotten some of it. By a week later, you'll have forgotten quite a bit of it. By a month later, you can Google that. There's a lovely curve that shows how much stuff you forget. Unless you're applying it and using it, then you'll remember. And or doing refresher courses or updating your skills is a great way to do that, because the human mind forgets. You know, something will happen at work and you go, oh, I did that JCL course last year. What the heck was that again? But if you apply it and use it and code that JCL, then it will be something that you'll remember straight away. Build a network of learners. Associate yourself with people that are exactly the same. They spend their time learning and seeking new information and so forth. Enjoy a variety of modalities. This is like, I always liken it to how I eat. I don't want to just sit down and have a chunk of steak in the middle of the plate in front of me. As much as I enjoy steak, you have to have variety in what you eat. You know, you have to have some vegetables and some bread and a glass of wine and all of the others, some gravy and spices and so forth. I hope I'm making everyone hungry. But try and vary the modalities. You'll have your favorites. Some people love just doing e-learning at their own pace and their own time. Other people love the social aspect of going to a class or a conference. You can be formal and informal, hands-on, practice, play, mentors, coaches, etc., etc. Try and vary it, keep it spicy, keep it interesting, and have a bit of fun as you learn. But this is lifelong learning. You have to learn and unlearn and relearn all of the stuff that you know, and keep an eye out for stuff that's interesting. Imagine if 5 years ago you'd said to yourself, this AI is pretty interesting. I quite enjoy this. There's a lot of potential here. Let me read, let me do a course, let me read up about this, let me play around with AI. You know, now you'd be so far ahead of the game. Imagine what your career would be doing if you had a 5-year head start on everyone with using AI and just conceptually thinking about how you can put AI into your daily work and potentially your product or your system and so forth. So be intellectually curious and lifelong learning. I have beaten that horse to death. So this is a sort of variety of learning modalities in the mainframe space. If your organization just sends you to a class each year, or just gives you e-learning, or just does whatever they do, tells you to go and read the manual, as the old acronym says, try and look for more. Try and talk to your organization or lobby, push for more things. There's a lot you can do on your own. All sorts of micro learning, as I was saying, just stuff on your LinkedIn feed. excuse me, IBM's got a bunch of little bits and pieces. There's e-learning, obviously my company, InterSkills, the biggest mainframe provider, mainframe training provider in the world. And we do e-learning, over 1 million hours delivered last year. So there's a lot of that done. Assessments, learning plans, coaching and mentoring is critical. We'll go through this in a minute. Conferences and events, the community. There's so much to do. There's mainframe groups on LinkedIn. Obviously, we're all here at GS UK Virtual, so we're connected with GS UK. So this is part of the mainframe community. We're ahead of the game. Everyone listening here is already way ahead of the game as far as career resilience, just because of the networking in the community. There's I won't get ahead of myself. Let's talk about digital credentialing quickly. 8 years ago, I think 9 years ago, IBM brought out the IBM Digital Badge Program. They were very early adopters in digital credentialing using the Credly network. Just this week, IBM has issued its 10 millionth digital credential. It's 10 millionth badge across all of IBM's product lines. And I don't know what the number is for mainframe related badges. But digital credentialing is fantastic. It gives you it helps you with setting your goals, especially around lifelong learning and other things that you can do. It helps you setting goals, wanting to earn a badge. It gives the rest of the industry proof, which helps your career as well. It shows benchmarks, the courses you've done, the skills you've attained, the IBM Champion Program awards, the advocacy, the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anything, projects and so forth. There's badges from IBM. Broadcom's got badges. Open Mainframe Project's got badges. I don't think BMC or Rocket do. I'm sure that they will. Badges are becoming more prevalent, but IBM badges are fantastic. Definitely earn some and have them on your LinkedIn profile. Gives you a lot of credibility and will help your career. Digital badges are not just a graphic. They have metadata and they are tied into the badging platform so that anyone, when you post a badge and say, I have done a ZOS course, any employer or any colleague of yours can click on that badge, go and see when you did it, who the earner was, you, the issuer, probably IBM, when it was issued, the type of credentials, skills badge or professional certificates or lots of other ones, the skills you've learned, who taught it, what it covered, all of the depth of what was included in that course. So that if you say, I've done a ZOS course, well, was it a 1 hour course? Was it a 2-day, 3-day course? Was it a 3 years ago at ZOS 2.2? God, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, or was it 3.1 that you did a few months ago? It gives context and clarity and definition to what you have learned or what you have achieved. These digital credentials are critical these days. You really need to show these things off, again, especially around your LinkedIn profile. They use blockchain, so they are tamper-proof verification. They're a source of truth as to what you know and what you don't know. IBM's got nearly 3,000 badges across multiple programs. I better update this, 10 million badges. IBM early on in this won a number of awards in the training industry. This is really a fantastic program. Color coding, what do we got? Green with IBM is usually foundational level. As you can see by the little 1 bar, like on your cell phone signal, down the bottom right corner. The burgundy, maroon, red color is intermediate, blue is advanced, and then there's lots of other skill builds. The IBM professional certificates are very close to certification in the mainframe space, as close as they've got to a certification in the mainframe space. So definitely look for professional certificates. They are benchmarks of your skills based on a job role, based on your job role, whether you're an operator or a sysprog or application programmer or security, et cetera, et cetera. So if you've been on LinkedIn, you will have seen plenty of these badges. Okay, enough of lifelong learning, please. That's number one for a reason. Lifelong learning is very, very important to your career resilience. You've got to keep your skills up. You've got to keep your knowledge up. Not just to do your job well, but to be prepared for opportunities that come up. You know, if they're doing a new project or opening up a new department with a new technology, a new team with a new technology or something, if you've done that training, if you're knowledgeable about this, then you'll be selected and move into that. You may be able to help and answer a question that a lot of the existing people in your team don't know because you've learned a little bit more. You're continually learning, and you say, I've got a different way of looking at this. We could do it this way, et cetera, et cetera. So that lifelong learning is going to always put you at the forefront of your career and give you success. Enough said. Number 2, cultivate a robust professional network. Number 2 for a reason. Lot of career resiliency benefits for introductions to the right people at the right time, for suggestions. I saw a thing, all right, I'm grabbing my phone here. I saw a thing on LinkedIn just as I was waiting to to start. And it said, I don't know if you can see this. I thought that was really cool. Surround yourself with people who fight for you in the rooms that you aren't in, which I thought was fantastic. That there's people that saying nice things about you and suggesting you for different job roles or talking you up. That's your professional network. That really spreads your growth, your reach, and will really help your career. So, you know, be authentic, be a good person, be helpful, be all of those things. But your professional network is an extension of you, and you should surround yourself with people like that. Your robust professional network, very important. The mainframe industry, I think, is just like a big global family. It's not like any other industry I've ever worked in, and I worked in a couple. It's remarkable. They're so full of people that will be glad to help you out, glad to connect with you, glad to collaborate with you. Mainframers are just the coolest folk. So have a coach and a mentor, be a coach and a mentor. That's my first one with create a robust professional network. Everybody should have multiple mentors. I'm looking at my time. Everybody should have multiple mentors. Mentors are not just to help you with technical things. You need someone you can reach out to for help with technical issues or ideas on what things you should learn next in the next course you do, or what you should read up on, or what's going to be the next big technology or so forth. You know, have your mentors that are going to be able to help your career on a technical level. Also have mentors that are going to be able to help your career on a person level. So mentors, it may be the same person, it may be different people, but have a mentor that can introduce you to the right people, can introduce you to senior people, can introduce you to luminaries in the industry that are just brilliant, and can teach you so much. Try and don't be shy about asking someone. It's a huge compliment to ask somebody to be your mentor, but make sure it's someone you connect with. Don't just send out a blanket email to 50 people asking if they'll be your mentor. That's not the spirit of it. But if you really connect with somebody you get to know through the industry, somebody you really admire, reading their articles on LinkedIn, or you meet them at a conference, or you hear them speak at GS UK or something like that, reach out to them and say, that was really important what you said. That meant a lot to me. I'm wondering whether you would formally or informally be a mentor for me, and be someone I could connect with and ask questions and so forth. I think vast majority of mainframers would be honored and will say yes. So as well as getting mentors to help your career, be a mentor. I don't care how senior you are in the industry, even if you're 1 year in as a junior mainframer, you've done your first year. Think about the poor people that are just starting, your colleagues that are at day one. You know, mentor them, talk to them, be close to them through their first year, and help them understand that some of the things that you came up against and how you solved them, and who you connected with and so forth. So try and be a mentor and pay it back. The industry will help you. The mainframe community will help you, and try and give back to that mainframe community. Be part of user groups. Again, we're all ahead of the game here. We're at the GS UK conference, virtual conference, but be part of these groups. There's as I said, there's LinkedIn groups. IBM's got IBM communities, which are fantastic. There's a lot of communities there. The IBM champions and so on and so forth. There's a gentleman by the name of Stephen Perver, who's a young, brilliant legend, works at Ensono, which is a big mainframe services company. He started a Discord group, and that gave me cool points with my 20-year-old son, who's a gamer, to be on Discord. But Stephen Perver started this Discord group called the System Z Enthusiasts, I think it is. I didn't know anything about Discord, but I joined that early on. It was just a bunch of his friends, and well over 1,000 people today. The System Z Enthusiasts on Discord is fantastic. They get together every month or so for just a general chat and connecting and asking questions and hearing feedback from other people in the industry and so on and so on and so forth. Plus, there's all of the asynchronous stuff, obviously, messaging and so forth going on. So many user groups, whether face-to-face like GSUK or virtual like Discord or IBM communities or LinkedIn groups. Definitely be part of user groups and connect with people around the industry that are like you, that are mainframers, that are passionate about the same things. And I've covered all of these things in my one ramble. My advice to you, be authentic. I'm starting to see a little bit more people are just going to Chat GPT and finding things to write and posting them up there. That's all well and good, you know, way to go on your sort of diligence, but be authentic. Try and be who you are and connect with people that you genuinely connect with, and use your authentic voice and talk about the things that matter to you. That will resonate a lot more. I think as AI becomes more and more prevalent, we're going to really start to get a feel for what's real and what's computer generated. So try and be your authentic self as you build a brand and connect with the industry. Number 3. So first one, lifelong learning. 2, build your professional network. 3, actively manage your career. It is amazing how many people get their job and just sort of float along and hope that something good's going to happen. That's one strategy, I suppose. But may I suggest managing your career? You know, look at your trajectory. Use your mentors to say, okay, where do I want to be next year? Where do I want to be in 5 years' time? Where do I want to be in 10 years' time? Not everyone wants to be a manager or a senior manager. Other people want to dig in deeper into their technical careers, but set yourself some goals. I want to earn a patent in the next few years, come up with something, earn a patent, make myself famous, win some award, be an IBM champion. I want to work in another country just to have the chance of living and working in some amazing country that I've always wanted to go and visit. The mainframe industry is amazing at that. You can work all around the world using the same skills that you have. So define your short-term and long-term professional goals and keep reassessing them. So again, I suppose this is a nice simple one. Don't just let your career float along. Set yourself some goals. It may sound a bit goofy, but it really, really isn't. Where do you want to be? If you want to be doing the same job in 5 years' time, then, you know, great. That's good. So just continue to keep up with your lifelong learning and make your connections and enjoy your career and keep doing your job that you love. And that's fantastic. But if you've got places you want to go or things you want to achieve, don't just sit there and cross your fingers and hope. Map that out. Set yourself some goals. Connect with mentors and your management and say, okay, this is where I want to be. How do I get there? What do I have to do to show you that I'm ready for this position in 1 year's time or 2 years' time or 5 years' time. And let them know. And if something comes up, they may just say, you know what, this person's spoken to us 6 months ago and said that they are looking for that. I think given all of the learning that they're doing, the IBM badges that they're earning, the connections that they've got, they're ready for that now. And they'll reach out to you and say, hey, we're ready to go. So definitely actively manage it. I got way ahead of myself. My apologies. So set your goal, plot your path, keep your skills up to date. Yeah, you don't want to have a big opportunity come up and not have the skills that are needed. Again, this is why lifelong learning is important. If you're mapping that if you're setting a goal that you want to be here in your career in a year's time or in 2 years' time, you better have the skills that start building the skills that you need to fill that role. Networking, and be open to lateral moves as well. Every move doesn't have to be a promotion. You can move across to something that works in a different technology or something that's exciting and new. That is a lateral move, but it's going to open a lot of doors for you and give you a lot more room to expand than maybe what you're doing now. So this is all part of managing your career. What are we doing here? 8:02. So we're on time. And 4, look to the future. Try and keep a positive mindset. When something really good happens, don't just sit there and say, hey, that was really good, I enjoyed that. Look at it as a springboard towards something else. When someone congratulates you about some career success, talk to them about, okay, what could I do from here? How could I leverage that to move into a new position or a promotion or a new project or something like that? And challenges are opportunities as well. You can connect with other people, work with other people to solve challenges when things aren't going perfect, but you're starting to build up your network, and you can come out the other side with priceless experience. Embrace change, mix with positive people. A lot of this sounds like motivational speaking, but it is. If you let this positive mindset, if you let mistakes and challenges and things get you down, it's not going to help you at all. So try and be positive. Mistakes are part of things. So when you're successful, use that as a springboard. When things don't go quite right, learn from that and figure out how to move forward. Network strategically. Again, when things aren't going right, when the industry changes, when your company lays people off, when any of these things happen, nothing better than having a network of trusted people that have position and influence to help you out, to suggest how you can handle it, to give you a place to go, to help you out with your next position, to help you in some way. This networking is really, really key. Try and anticipate industry trends and shifts. Again, as I said before, 5 years ago, if you'd looked at AI and said, hey, I think this is going to be really big in the future. I need to learn as much as I can. I need to connect with people that are involved in AI, in the infancy of AI, and get connected. And where would you be today? I think quantum is another thing that's going to just become more and more and more important over the next decade. And IBM is at the forefront of quantum computing. So, while you are a mainframer, maybe start to read up on quantum, have a play around with IBM's got a free access to quantum. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't remember, but anyway, look on Google that IBM Quantum. You can get on and program and play around. There's various courses and things you can do, and whatever other new. I mean, AI and quantum are the two I'm focusing on now, and I just read because I'm very interested. But these are trends that the industry is going to follow, and be willing to pivot. Okay, those are the 4 to help you out with career resilience. As I've sort of said along the way, career resilience is important in good times and bad. It's not just when things are going wrong that you need to have career resilience, though that is very important. In bad times, you need to have that adversity quotient, that AQ, to be able to overcome changes in the industry, changes at your organization, anything. It even comes down to a personal level. You may just have a manager or somebody on your team you just cannot work with, and you need to move away and do something else. But having that career resilience, the IQ, the skills from your lifelong learning, your network of people that you've built up, gives you a chance when things are going wrong to pivot, to move, to get beyond that stuff. So that helps you in bad times, but in good times also. Have that career resiliency. When things are going really well and a big opportunity comes up, if you've done your lifelong learning, then you're well prepared. You've got the skills you need. You've got the knowledge you need. If an opportunity comes up and you've got that great professional network, you can ask a couple of your people in your professional network, would you talk to this decision maker on this new opportunity and let them know that I'm really very good at this and I would be a great choice for it. You can have your professional network help you out there, and or planning your career and so forth. Enough done. But the employers rather, I did that again. It shouldn't just be up to mainframers to do the things that you need for career resilience, though it is something that we all should do. Employers need to have a resilient workforce. They need to have a workforce full of mainframers who are resilient, who practice lifelong learning and have all of the skills and all of the knowledge. So it's up to the employers to really provide a massive array of training on demand, ready to go. It should not be hard. If a person wants to do some lifelong learning, wants to do a course or something, they should not have to have a stack of paperwork that they need to fill out and have to wait 3, 4, 5 months before they eventually get their training approved and they can go and do it. It should be there. It should be instantly available. There should be resources. There should be coaching and mentoring and so forth. There we go. Mentorship, support networks, learning culture, career mobility. Employers have to put their money where their damn mouth is. If employers want people to train and build up their skills and so forth, then employers, mainframe organizations need to hire from within and promote from within. If somebody internal has the skills and is put in the work to be ready for this next promotion or to lead this next team or to lead this next department, don't go outside and hire somebody from outside. Reward the people inside that have worked, that are part of your culture, that have done all of the hard slog and put themselves in a position, cross-training, skill diversification, et cetera, et cetera. Employers should also, promote that work-life balance. You don't want to burn people out from working them too hard, et cetera. So that's right at the end. We've got to Q&A. I don't know if Herb's still there. I haven't been looking at the chat, but if anyone's got any questions, Herb can take everyone off mute for all I care. But would love to hear from you, and we can get a conversation going. I think once we get a few questions and answers happening, everyone else will have some Q&As as well.
Right then, I'm going to turn everybody. I'll just move to where I can get some power, and just turning everybody so they can all speak. A question that I had, and I'm fiddling. There you go. Under participants.
Actually, while you're doing that, please, session feedback would be fantastic if you wouldn't mind going to that URL. My session is 2P, which I thought of a joke that's
to pee or not to pee? That is the question. Sorry. What? 1 second.
Darren, you're on mute.
There we go.
Okay.
Right, unmute.
Darren, there was a question I wanted to ask. And
Yeah.
to just listening to you, so one of the most experienced speakers that we've had. What would you say have been the most significant changes to learning culture on the mainframe in the past 5 years or so?
That's a really good question. I think from the early days of mainframe, what is 1964, April 1964, the System 360 came out. And back when I started in 1990, DataTask, which was the precursor to InterSkill, we started doing computer-based training because everything before that was classroom, instructor-led training. You wanted to learn anything in mainframe, you read a manual or you approached IBM and said, I need to do a class on this. And you went to IBM and did an instructor-led class. And that was it. And most of the industry still thought in terms of instructor-led training, but also that training was an individual event. So maybe you would go to one class a year, or if you were really lucky, you might go to two, but that would be a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, individual
And you
event.
come home with a big fat folder?
That was, yeah, a big fat folder, but that was all it was. The rest of the year, the other 360 days, you just worked. And then training was these few compartmentalized days. I think the industry's finally starting to get it that training is lifelong learning. Training is a daily event. Training is something that you need to have. Of course, you'll still do classroom and go to conferences and all of these things, but you need to be always learning. You need to be reading articles. You need to be playing around with stuff, demoing things, doing on-demand e-learning courses, reading articles, et cetera, networking and so forth. But training, I think organizations see, we did a case study with couple of case studies. One with Kyndryl, which is the monster, the massive mainframe organization, Kyndryl, and Sono, which is also pretty massive. Both of those organizations, and we see this across the industry, use training and a mainframe workforce training program. So their training that they have for their workforce and the sophistication of that and the ready availability and so forth, them investing in their people, they use that to attract talent. So they lead with that. They say, if you come and work for us, we're not just going to leave you sitting there working on your mainframe, wondering what you're doing and trying to figure it out yourself. We are going to invest in you. We are going to pour training on you and make sure that you've got all the skills you need, not just to do your job properly, but to be promoted and move up and have a wonderful career. So they're using education not just to make sure that their people are skilled, but strategically to attract talent. And also they're using it, these mainframe services companies, they're using it to attract clients. They're going to their clients and saying, look at our workforce. They have earned this many thousand IBM badges and show that they know everything they need to know for their job roles. These are benchmarked skills. We've provided them with all of this training. If you outsource to us, we've got the best team possible, the most highly skilled team possible that will be running your systems for you. So strategically, it's no longer just sort of ad hoc classes. They're starting to look at, the industry starting to look at training as a really strategic business advantage to train their people, to keep their people, to attract new talent, and attract clients and stuff as well. That was a long-winded answer to your question, but it's becoming more and more strategic and more important for corporations to do this. And if they're not, if corporations are not using training strategically like this, then they're going to get left behind. People will walk. Personnel, mainframers that are working at a company that does not invest in them, that does not give them the training to do their job properly, that does not give them the training to potentially have promotions and changes in their careers and stuff. There's so many mainframers work remotely. They can go and get a job at another company that's going to invest in them and give them that training. So corporations that aren't doing this strategic training are just going to bleed talent. They'll lose their best people. They're motivated, intellectually curious people that they need to keep. long
No,
answer.
thank you very much. Very comprehensive answer there. So maybe you can just show us your feedback slide again, because I think a lot of us would like to thank you
You're very welcome.
and show how much we appreciated what you had to say. But that just about takes us to time, and it is indeed the last talk in the skills and learning stream in the virtual conference in 25. So we finished stronger than we started, because I think I
Yeah,
was the first one. So yeah,
best and the best. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This is a fantastic turnout. I know that we're all busy in our normal jobs and so forth, but I really appreciate everyone turning up. And please reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want to chat about any of these things further, or if you want to just message back and forward about any of these things. Be glad to connect with you and chat.
Fantastic. Right, so I'm going to let everybody go. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we'll see you again next time.
Thanks all.